In a summer packed with rumors, extensions, and draft smokescreens, nobody saw this coming. The Boston Celtics, fresh off an NBA championship, just traded Jrue Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers in what might be the strangest move of the entire offseason. But what's even weirder, both teams might have won this trade, for completely opposite reasons. Let's break this down, not just what happened, but why it happened, and how this move could be the first domino in something much, much bigger. Just days after raising a banner, the Celtics were hit with devastating news. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. Suddenly, the 2025-26 season went from repeat contender to let's survive and regroup. That injury shifted everything. Behind the scenes, Boston's ownership was already worried about their luxury tax bill. With Jaylen Brown's supermax kicking in, Porzingis' ballooning contract, and Jrue Holiday making over $35 million a year through age 38, the Celtics were heading straight into the league's brutal new second apron. So what do you do when your superstar is out? Your payroll is bloated, and your core is aging? You quietly hit reset. Not a rebuild, not a blow-it-up scenario, just a one-year retool, enough to stay competitive, but flexible for when Tatum comes back. And that meant Jrue Holiday had to go. Here's where things get weird. Just last season, Jrue Holiday was a crucial part of Boston's championship run. Elite defense, veteran presence, clutch experience. He was a perfect playoff warrior. But in this new financial reality, value isn't just about on-court impact, it's about contract control. And Jrue's contract was anything but pretty. $33 million next year, $35 million the year after, $37 million player option at age 37. And with Tatum out for the year, paying that kind of money made 0 sense. What's shocking is what Boston got in return. They traded Jrue Holiday to the Trail Blazers, and somehow they didn't have to attach any picks. In fact, they got Anthony Simons and 2 second-rounders in return. That's unheard of. Most people expected Boston would have to pay someone to take on Jrue's contract. Instead, they got younger, got cheaper, and got assets. So, what was Portland thinking? Let's be clear, Jrue Holiday is still a very good basketball player, but Portland is a team built on youth. Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Deni Avdija. They're coming off a season where they almost made the play-in, not because of stars, but because of raw talent and growth. Now, they just gave up one of their best scorers in Anthony Simons, who, by the way, is just 25, for a 35-year-old on a massive contract. And not only did they take on the money, they also gave up draft capital. Why? There are 2 possibilities. 1, Portland thinks Jrue's leadership and defense will elevate the young guys and push them into the playoffs. And 2, they're not done. This move might just be a setup. But before we get to what Portland could be plotting, let's not gloss over what they gave up. Simons has been in trade rumors for years. Orlando, Toronto, Dallas, but he's always had value. He's one of the best off-the-dribble shooters in the league and gives you instant offense. By swapping him for Jrue, Portland is making a huge bet, not just on Holiday, but on Scoot Henderson taking a leap. Is that smart? Maybe. Is it risky? Absolutely. This is the part most fans overlook. Under the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, spending too much money triggers brutal penalties, including loss of future picks, inability to sign buyout players, and forced trade restrictions. That's why the second apron is terrifying GMs across the league. Boston saw it coming, and by moving off Jrue's contract, they just dodged a financial bullet. Simons' deal, expiring next year, totally manageable. They can re-sign him, flip him at the deadline, or just let the contract run out. Flexibility restored. Meanwhile, Portland is taking on future risk for a player who may not be there in 2 years. This wasn't just a basketball trade. This was salary cap chess. Now here's where it gets really spicy. Boston isn't just sitting on Simons and some second-rounders. League insiders are buzzing that this could be step 1 of a larger teardown, or at least a soft rebuild. Rumors are flying that the Houston Rockets have been calling, and they're offering a massive package for Jaylen Brown to pair with Kevin Durant. With Tatum sidelined, Boston might actually listen. They've already moved Jrue, Porzingis is reportedly available, even Derek White is drawing interest. If Boston wants to stack assets and build around a healthy Tatum in 2026, now's the perfect time to pivot. They're not tanking. They're playing the long game, quietly, carefully, and that makes them very dangerous. If you think Portland made this deal just to stand pat, think again. This front office is tired of being stuck in the 30-win basement. They want to leap, and they just made their first bold move. Now, they've got a roster filled with interesting trade pieces. Jeremy Grant, Matisse the Bull, DeAndre Ayton, and even some of their recent picks. Watch out for a consolidation trade, something like what Orlando just pulled off for Desmond Bane. Maybe they package Sharp, Grant, and picks for a win-now star. Maybe they flip Jrue again. Or maybe they go full throttle and try to shock the West. They're not going all in, but they're definitely not rebuilding anymore. On the surface, this trade looked random, unexpected, even confusing. But when you dig deeper, it's a window into how NBA front offices are adapting to the new financial landscape, balancing competitiveness with cap flexibility, future planning with present opportunity. Boston bought themselves time. Portland made a bet on growth and maturity. Will it work? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this trade wasn't just about Jrue Holiday. It was about what comes next, and something big is definitely coming. Thanks for watching. If you want more NBA offseason breakdowns and smart trade analysis, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this offseason, we're just getting started.